All right, all right. Good evening to all who are here. Let me change some of these settings here. All right, there we are. So, good evening. Happy Monday to everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. It is a new week. New is my new word that I'm going to start using on Mondays because I want everyone to renew, whatever that means to you. New jobs, new money, new homes, new. So that's what we try to advocate over here on Monday nights. But I appreciate everyone for being here. I have my panel this evening, my co-host, the actual King Smith. How are you this evening, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm live. I'm in full effect. We in the building. What's up, Kenny? What's up, Sean? Salute to the real Precious.
Thank you so much for being here.
What's
I
up?
appreciate you. I appreciate you. Sean, how are you this evening, sir?
I am doing well, thank you, thank you. What's going on, Ken? What's going on, Ken? Kenny, and how are you, the lovely Precious? I am doing well, thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for being here. And Kenneth, how are you today, sir? Thank you so much for being here.
Um, I'm blessed and pleased. Made it through another day on the plantation. Avoided the whip. Everything smooth.
Not avoided the whip. Bobbing and weaving. You bobbing and weaving over there. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. I know we're going to have some more come. We're probably going to have Hank come. We're probably going to have our Payne in the building. So, you know, they do their shows and they're probably finishing up on their platforms. But I appreciate you guys for being here. Tarika, thank you so much for being here. She says, evening, everyone, excuse me. Please hit the like button as you come in. Definitely hit that like button as you come in. Woo, she diving in already, but we're going to start that one, okay? And we're going to come back to it, all right? Fish in the Fit, I see you in the building. Thank you so much for being here, sir. He also says, like my bro Ricky Williams says, they are liars. Q, I see you in the building. Good evening, good people. Good evening to you. And Perry Production, what is that? Perry Production Net B. What up, what up, what up? I see you in the building. Thank you so much for being here. All right, guys, if you haven't already, definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you're notified when we do all content. I'm also live on Wednesdays with Lady Di. So we do a show, and this Wednesday we're going to have a all men's, the show's going to be about all men. I believe we're going to have a man on the panel as well. So definitely tune into that at 7 o'clock ish on Wednesday. And also be mindful that tonight's show is sponsored by jecreativehosting.com. So if you need a website, definitely go over to that website where they will host your website and give you a discount when you put in the code HCM22. All right, guys, definitely like the show. So we're going to get into it today because the final topic is which type of cheating is worse, okay? Emotional, sexual, or financial. And I have a question or two for the guys to answer. And I'm curious to see what you guys are going to say about that. But before we get there, I follow so many people on social media and so many people follow me, and someone reached out to me and he's like, you know, you can use some of my content on your page. I like what you're doing. I do a lot of relative and recent content. He does, if there's something on Neighborhood Talk, he does it in the tune version, like a cartoon version. So I saw this one and I wanted to bring it up because it kind of is a beginning stage of where we're headed tonight on our topic. But I wanted to bring this up to the stage and you guys let me know what you think. But me and King are going to read the thoughts of the woman and the man here. Okay. So she's thinking, oh my God, he has his phone facing down. That means he has something to hide.
Let me turn my phone over and give her my undivided attention.
All right. So short and sweet on that one. But I wanted to bring it up because it is a topic of discussion for some people. There are some people who will go out on a date and they will have their phone, and more times out of more times than not, a man will place his phone face down. A woman may have her phone on the table and may be face up, or she may not have it on the table at all. There are some women who do have their phones on the tables. They like to take their pictures and they getting everything. But why do you think women have the thought of, oh my goodness, his phone is face down, he must be hiding something? Why do you think that is even a thought in a woman's mind when she sees that?
Because women in general overthink everything. They'll simply overthink everything. It could be. I could say that I could take a step back and say because they've had verifiable instances in the past that have caused them to not have trust. But I think it just comes down to simply overthinking whatever's going on in that moment instead of being present and enjoying the moment. Most guys like that picture. It's simple. My phone is down so that I can give you my undivided attention. I can be present in the moment without thinking about what's going on an hour or 2 hours from now. I'm simply worried about how everything in the present is working. Whereas the ladies, man, y'all, is my nails right? I hope that my hair wig ain't slipping back. Um, just overthinking everything.
Okay. So overthinking. Kenny, what about you? Why do you think that women's mind goes there when they see your phone face down as opposed to face up?
I would think that would be a moment of insecurities. Insecurities could be gauged by levels, but that's the new way of chivalry when you're shaking and moving. And from what I've seen, you putting your folks face down is meaning that, okay, I'm not distracted by that. I'm giving you my undivided attention, and that's a sign, just like me opening a door or pulling out a chair for you. We're in a society where a lot of us are connected to our phones, and it might hum, or you might put it on vibrate. Only then when it vibrates is something important, then you could, respectfully be like, pardon me, I have to take this because I was expecting something. And that's just part of the decorum of nowadays. So I don't understand how that could be a negative unless that person shows like a slight of insecurity. Because I'm sure a conversation could have been held, because if you deem that person important, you'll at least give them that disclaimer. I got my phone on vibrate. You don't have to say it's face down just in case I get an important call. How you doing?
Okay. I agree with that. A lot of people are attached to their phones. So I definitely do agree with that. Sean, what do you think? Why do women get insecure when a man has his phone face down as opposed to face up on the table?
Well, King alluded to it, but he said he wouldn't take it there. So I'm going to take it there because they have trust issues. Period. It's really that simple. They have trust issues. Now, where those trust issues come from, is another discussion. But for you to be that cynical, those trust issues are just being displayed and highlighted. And it's unfortunate because it's not just women. Men have trust issues, and they display it in other ways as well. But it's just trust. We don't trust each other.
All right, trust issues. Arpain, how are you this evening, sir?
How are you? Thanks for letting me up. Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Glad to have you here. I'm not sure if you saw the illustration that I posted.
No, I didn't, but I think I got the gist of the conversation about the phone up or down.
Right.
I'm completely out of touch, man, because I wouldn't care what the woman thought one way or the other. I wouldn't care. You can't tell me what to do with my phone. If you did, we couldn't be together. As simple as that. I mean, I've been married for a long time. I've never looked at my wife's phone up, down, here or there. I don't care. If I had those kind of trust issues, I would be in real big trouble. So
well, why don't we give you a bit more context, Payne, because
okay.
It was specific to the miscommunication. It was just a one sentence. So if y'all want to repeat it for him, it might be
please
helpful.
do.
Oh my God, he has his phone facing down. That means he has to be hiding something.
Let me turn my phone over and give this woman, the lovely Precious, my undivided attention.
I hear you. All right. So yeah, so it's a miscommunication. I see that. It'd be too bad if she thought that one way or the other. I wouldn't care. I still my if she's saying it to herself, I wouldn't know that's how she felt. If she didn't want to see me anymore because my phone was down, then she saved me a lot of trouble. You know, because I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I think men, if she's pretty, I think men will overlook that. And she would have said, "Oh, your phone was down," and you try to explain it to her and all that kind of stuff. That's just the beginning of her trust issues. And that one conversation is not going to fix it. So you gotta pick your poison. And the only reason why I'm saying this now is because I'm a little bit more seasoned. Would I have said that when I was dating back then? I can't. I'm taking credit for that. I would, but I don't know. But I think if I had the mind I have now, it would be next. It would be next.
Let me ask y'all a question. When I was 18, 19, so this was pre-smartphone days, you're talking 20 years ago, I went
Right.
out on a date with somebody, and when I went to go pick her up, it was a first date. I went to her house, drove in the driveway, got out, went to the door, walked into the car, did the opening doors, all of that jazz.
Yeah.
And when we went out to eat, we ended up going out to eat and then had took a walk. She was in her phone what felt like half of the time. Now, when me and her were engaging, she wasn't really in her phone like that. But when we weren't really engaging, she was texting, doing different things, and all of that stuff. I didn't say anything to her about it, yet it bothered me. And when I drove her home, I didn't pull up in the driveway. I pulled up to the curb and let her out. And she said, "Oh, so you just gonna do a whole drop off?" Was I wrong for not voicing my displeasurement of her being in her phone the entire time and then taking it out on her by pulling up to the curb and stopping all gentleman things because she was not a lady and giving me her time while her and I were going out?
Yes, you absolutely were. And the reason why I say that is because you was emotional and you was in your feelings, and you could have expressed it because and it might have done you some good. But yeah, you was in your feelings. So yes, you was wrong for being in your feelings and reacting emotionally.
You wasn't
Kenny?
wrong. You wasn't wrong being in your feelings. You were wrong not telling her what you was feeling at the time. I mean, we have feelings too as men. So I would have told see, that could have been the start of something better if you would have told her, "Hey, let me check you right here. I don't want you to be on your phone if you're with me." Now it will be back on her to see what kind of woman she wants to be. If she came in and gave you the black girl magic, you blah, 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 you probably got a small penis and all that shit. You know, then you know what to do. Hey man, when women give you the black girl magic, man, you got. I turn black girl magic into a negative all the time. Every chance I get, but it's just me. Don't,
Yeah,
don't,
I
don't.
definitely think you should have said something. I can understand why you dropped her off at the curb. You want there to be some type of reciprocity, right? If I'm in the presence with you and I am not distracted by anyone and I'm giving you my attention, then I expect that from you because you probably expect me to walk you to your door right now. And it's not necessarily a tit for tat type of thing, but I always say that women need to learn things by instruction. Like you guys are instructors, you're the leaders. So if that is something that bothered you, then yeah, I would say that you probably should have said, I really didn't feel like you gave me your undivided attention tonight, and that bothered me. Um, Other than that, I had a good night. I hope that you have a good night, and hopefully we can talk tomorrow. Like something where you leave it open. You leave it open for her to then reflect on what she did because You know, a lot of women will say, well, I want you to keep it real with me, or I want you to just tell me the truth. Those are instances where you tell her the truth. You be real with her because, like our pain said, it could have blossomed into something else, or it could have went into a different direction. However, what I will say as well is women know what they're doing. If a woman is into you, she's not going to be into her phone. If a woman wants your attention and you want her attention, you're just going to naturally know that. I think maturity also plays a huge deal in it. I don't know how old she was, but some women are just so younger women are just so attached to what's going on social media that they feel like they're missing out on something FOMO, you know, while they're out with you. So it could, maybe it wasn't personal, you know, at the same time, but I think in moments like that, definitely say something, because I think it'll make you feel better as well, because whoever else comes along, you're not going to have to second guess what's going on in your mind and in your heart, trying to not, you know, shift the waters or whatever. And you can be done after that. You don't have to feel like you have to be with someone just because you told them, you know, what you were feeling, but at least you said it.
Now, I asked that as a question because I was 19 years old and I didn't necessarily know how to navigate that at the time. I don't know what your audience demographic age is, but hopefully somebody that's listening can learn from what we just talked about. And Precious, you also said something too that some people have found offended. I've heard somebody say men should be giving women instructions and women feeling offended by that. But I subscribe to that 100%. As a leader, you should be giving instructions.
Why would women feel offended by that?
Because they're immature emotionally.
'Cause
Simple. You know, and there's a lot of immature older women, as well as a lot of immature, and I say immature emotionally, that is, younger women. And because you have age, a lot of people feel that they're mature. And in a lot of ways they might be, in a lot of spaces they might be. But when it comes to emotional maturity, I find more often than not that we find a lot of old people emotionally immature.
All right, I'm gonna read. Go ahead, Kenneth. After you, I'm gonna read some of these comments. Go ahead.
This one broach on that real quick. That night you was a Jolly Rancher, my brother. You understand? And you were passive, and I know that grinded you the whole night. And you did yourself the biggest disservice not addressing it, because I also been in a position like that. I had to leave a girl high and dry at the Shark Bar who thought I was just a meal. You understand? And then I got called all type of this. I ain't no man, this, that, and the third. You inspect what you expect. You were on a panel not too long ago, Precious, where you heard it yourself. Women do not want to be led. They want to give you excuses as for why you can't lead them, because we're non-traditional now, rather than somebody addressing how they wish to be treated. So that's my pushback for that.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna get into some of these comments. I gotta shout out, you know, the other co-hosts, the audience. All right, Lauren Mack, I see that you're in the building. Thank you so much for being here. Scott, thank you so much. I appreciate you. TJ Moneyman, and he's scared to be free. Embrace the grace. Thank you so much for being here. Good evening, Queen. Salute to the chat. Blaze, I see you. Peace and abundance, Precious, panels, mods, and the chat. Hope all is well this evening. Stopping through. Thank you so much. Blaze, you getting just split. Sorry, I don't know why my ring went there. Men too lazy to turn their notifications off. Ooh, y'all ain't turn them notifications off. Y'all ain't at least putting it on silent. Not I hide my phone in a used Dorito bag. Dorian, thank you so much for being in the building. Beautiful. It's an expectation that my man and I do not have our phones out at the dinner table and at all, and when we are out together. Yeah, I just think it's so impersonal. You're out with someone. If it's not an emergency, why be on your phone? I don't understand. Like I truly believe that someone's presence is a gift. Like I'm not going to get this moment back. You're not going to get this moment back. We should be able to enjoy each other without trying to check our phones. Like I said, unless it's an emergency, why are you so curious about what's going on in your phone and not the person that you are spending time with? I don't understand that.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you can, I'd like to know from the person who wrote that, was that ever a discussion? Because you wrote it's an expectation, but did y'all ever have that discussion point early on in y'all getting to know each other?
Do you
Or is
know
it
who
just
Dorian is?
yeah, that Tinks lady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure where he is. I hope he's able to come up. But yeah.
Because I mean, culturally, some people may not know that as an expectation. So I'm curious if when they met that was ever a talking point.
Okay, so you're saying that because, like you said, my demographic of viewers are not that young. I actually have a older crowd who watch us. However, if there are young people watching and they're dating and they're going out and they're so used to being on their phones or hooked on their phones, are you saying that that is something that should be talked about before you go on a date? Like, hey, we're about to go out. How about we agree to not be in our phones?
Yeah.
How do you feel about
Say it.
that?
Actually say it.
I think that could be done on the fly. If a woman doesn't agree, such as yourself, with it, your femininity can kick in right there. Hey, I would appreciate no phones because I want your attention. A man that's for you, he'd be like, oh, okay. They do that right quick. That's just a
His
quick
boy's like,
agreement.
yo, and she said she didn't want to be on her phone.
No,
It's
but
a
I
quick
think that's a good.
agreement.
I mean, for the modern era, I think that's a good conversation to have before you go out. I think so.
Nah, even on the fly, that's a small ask for a woman that
Yeah.
you're interested in.
Just a
You
quick
do that.
little
You do that 100% of the time.
yeah.
And then she establishes, and you, a man taking note, will be like, I guess my baby don't like that. So let me make that minor adjustment.
And women also don't realize, that's a good point, Kenneth. Thank you for pointing that out. Women also don't realize that there are sometimes, like, the man is the leader, right? That's an overall principle that women should go by. However, women don't understand how there are aspects of your femininity that actually leads the man. And that's what Kenneth is talking about. There are aspects in your femininity where it's just like, okay, out of respect for her, since she don't want her phone on the table, I'm not going to have my phone on the table. And he may not say that to you. It just may be something that he just does. Because a lot of men aren't, they rather walk the walk than talk the talk. Whereas women, like you said, a woman can say, hey, I would appreciate if we don't have our phones on the table. I will love your full undivided attention, and likewise. So
Yeah, see,
that is powerful. I'm sorry?
No, I didn't know. I thought you were finished.
Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe I didn't fully understand. See, to me, I think with the modern woman, I think if you're nervous, you could almost assume that most people are addicted to their phone.
Mm-hmm.
Before I take you out, I'd rather get that straight. Hey, listen, I don't want to have I'm not going to have my phone at the table. I'd rather you not have your phone at the table and using it. And I want to know if she's going to go crazy of me on the phone when we're making a date. This way I don't have to waste any time or money. Because I'd be kind of, if I don't know this woman that well and I tell her, listen, can you put your phone away while we're eating on the fly? And she gives me the black girl magic. Now I'm caught out there with her. You know, and I don't want to do it because I don't know, in this day and age, you have to almost, maybe the phone conversations you'll have can give you a clue as to whether she'll blow up. But until they're in that situation, you just never know. Right. So I'd rather challenge her before I go out and waste time and money. And if I was in today's market, I mean, maybe the YouTube streets are getting to me. It sounds like women are monsters out there to some of these guys. You know, the way they be talking about it. You know, I'd rather have, I mean, probably vice versa too. I'd rather just have, let me get some things straight before we go out so I don't waste no time, no money. I don't have to, put you on the spot when we out there and you giving me the black girl magic. I just, now I got to take you home and shit or call you an Uber because I might not want to put you back in my car. Whatever, I don't know, man. I don't envy you guys these days, man. Maybe I'm being paranoid. You guys got me scared to death and shit. I'm glad I'm married.
What are you scared of?
I'm glad you married too. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh, God.
Hey, we go Trey, man. What's going on, man?
Or Payne trying to take a woman out with $2.
Trey says, utterly ridiculous to have to tell her to put her phone away. Throw these modern women away. You know,
You know what's interesting
Hey,
about
what's up,
that?
Trey? I haven't seen him in a while.
You said earlier that women know what they are doing, and that they're not. But women sometimes they always know what they're doing, but don't always know what they're doing, or not always doing the best thing for them. They self-sabotage a lot of times for a lot of different reasons, and so just knowing that what you're doing is not always the best thing, because if she's receptive, for example, to correction or leadership, then that becomes somebody who can be a promising thing, as Payne suggested. But if she's not, then it's a promising thing to learn that early on, so that you can separate yourself before any other emotions get tied in, or any other intimacies get tied in where you are not using your better judgment.
I don't know. I think
I
that
definitely
sets
agree with that.
I think that sets the benchmark. You take a woman out, you inspect what you expect. You could be there and be the consummate gentleman, and she'll show you everything you need to see, and then you can make a decision there and bow out gracefully. Or it could be like crash and burn if it's too toxic, and it's hitting you real quick. But same thing with men and women. That's unisex right there. You can learn a lot by just one dinner. By the time you get to dessert, you want to know if you bolt, if you're ready to bolt. There'll be a date too.
If there is dessert, like, oh, check. Thanks. Gotcha.
You know what's interesting? Somebody in a comment, Blaze, I believe, said time is of essence. Absolutely correct. But the same thing, you've already invested your time. You now are out. Why are you investing your time to take somebody out? If in fact, time is so valuable to you, you've already wasted time in not having correct conversations to identify whether she's valuable enough to take out in the first place.
Scott Slim says, what do you think about married couples at a restaurant on their phones the whole time? I've bartended and served in restaurants, and I don't understand that. I've never understood that. Between that and then two people who sit there and just don't talk to each other. They just sit there and they're not talking to each other whatsoever. I never understood that.
Well, they're one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're one and the same. On your phone and not talking, same difference.
Yeah, and some people are okay with not talking. Like, I'm one of those people that's okay with silence, but if we're eating and we're together across the table for one another or side by side, sitting side by side, I couldn't see myself just sitting there not saying anything to you. That's weird to me.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
I agree with Blaze. He says time is the one thing that we can't get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. As adults, respect each other's time. Don't have the phones out and enjoy real human interaction with someone you like. Right. I agree. That doesn't mean that person is going to be your forever person, but if you're going to maximize on your time, you might as well be there to know if that person is your person or not. And Dorian answers the questions and says, yes, it was him who set that expectation. And yes, we discussed putting our cell phone away when together early on, King and Precious, which is a great conversation to have. It's communication. Trey says, what else you got to tell her? Where does it end? Well,
look, I don't know if Trey is like it. You can't just expect everybody to have decorum. It's nice when people show up with decorum. Like, I'm a father of one young teenage daughter, right? I am trying to raise my daughter as somebody that people would be proud of. Like, if she gets married, I want the family of the person that she's married into to look at my daughter and say, her father raised her right. That would make me happy, right? And not just if I had a daughter, if I had a son as well, I would want to raise a human being that understands these things. But I'm present in her life. Some people don't have that positive mentor or that positive person, and they just don't know decorum. I'm not saying if you're trying to date them, you have to be the one that does that, but things need to be communicated for you to realize if you have the patience for this particular person or if you don't.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely do. All right. So I appreciate you guys in the chat. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, tell somebody, tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend. We're gonna get into this next this next clip. So WGCI, they have some juicy questions, and I wanted to bring this again. It's all leading up to the final topic. But I saw this and I wanted to get you guys' opinion. Of course, our co-hosts in the chat definitely weigh in as well.
Dear Leon and Zach, so I can't get into detail because this case is still open and pending, but to make a long story short, I got into some legal trouble and was facing some real time. I can't get into the details, but I was going to have to sit down for a long time. So I got a lawyer and he was preparing me to take a plea deal. Well, the way things turned out, my wife knew the judge. They used to go to high school together, and she said she would call him and see what she could do. I can't believe I'm telling y'all this, but my wife slept with the judge, and now I won't have to go to jail, and he's just giving me probation. When I asked my wife about it, she said she did what she had to do to keep me free and not to bring it up anymore. But it's really bothering me. I can't take it. Is she a hero or an HO?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Our pains it all.
Well, I gotta go first. Well, I gotta go first. Listen, man.
So is she a hero or a HO?
No, she could be a hero, but I don't think I can stay. I wouldn't, I mean, thank you, honey, but I gotta go.
You ain't going nowhere, Pain.
Oh yes, I
No, our pain is going. That's a thorn. He does not. Infidelity is the thorn in his back. He's been saying it since we met him.
Yeah.
You could be the spliff star to his Busta Rhymes. He ain't going nowhere.
Listen, I said, listen, you know what? I'm going somewhere. I'm telling you. You know why? Because I hear the hero thought, and that's why I didn't want to go first, because I wanted to try to be fair. But as far as I'm concerned, I've been consistent on that, man. My mind just it's too crazy, man. I'm thinking about the judge had my wife all upside down, beating it up there, man, slamming it. I ain't getting over that shit. I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm not. You can call me insecure and all that stuff, but I'm not getting over it.
This is why I say, because every
Let me
time
show you what
that
I do with
subject
this
comes
gavel.
up, every time that subject comes up, in any thought process, pain is always like, I just can't do that. No. So
Every single time.
Let me tell you, if I got a free chick, man, and she's I'm the sneaky link, I had the pleasure of being a side dude. I'm doing all kinds of crazy shit to her, man. I'm not gonna if let me tell you, your woman steps out on you, that dude is doing all the things to her that she will never do for you.
You changed it. You changed the whole dynamic of that.
The judge took full advantage of it. He had upside down, man.
I mean, that's why he can't deal with it, because he come up with his own ideas of what he would do or what he think can be done, and it's just a wrap at that point. But let me ask you a question: is she a hoe?
Have a psychosis? Now you guys stop by psychosis.
Yeah.
That's it. No, go ahead, Sean.
Is she a hoe or a hero? She could be both.
No, I wouldn't call her. I wouldn't
Um,
call her. I would give her, like I said, I'd give her flowers, and I said, well, you know, you're the perfect woman for the next guy.
right. I didn't call her.
Perfect woman.
I didn't call her either. I said she could be both. Now here's the problem with that. You didn't discuss it with your husband. That's the problem. And that is really what I think is more of the issue in this scenario they gave, is that you
Okay.
just decided you was going to do what you felt needed to be done, and so you took the liberty without the discussion of having a conversation to where y'all could have concluded how you wanted to approach it together. You was independent instead of interdependent.
No, that's a good point, though. But okay, so she came to me first. Listen, okay, I'm still on the. She came to me first and said, "Listen, I'm gonna go let him clap these cheeks to get you out," you know. And I'm supposed to say, "You know what, honey? Thank you. Have a good time," you know.
No, but you have the liberty to stand your point and your ground that you
Up
stand,
to
and
the
you
time.
stand on very
Yeah,
well. And
yeah.
so therefore y'all can decide, nah, that ain't what we're gonna do. Now she did it after that. See ya. Hope you had a real good time.
No, but that's
So long.
a good point. That's a good point you made,
You're talking out your ass.
though.
A woman
Can't
that would,
upstairs.
a woman that would make that type of sacrifice for you. As soon as I heard that, I went back to soul food. Remember when Berg went and tried to entice Samuel to get let him that job and whatnot? Then he found out after, and then he went and raged. That's the first thing that came to my mind. Then I had to brush that aside. A woman that would make that sacrifice to give her essence so her man does not have to do a stretch. Y'all talk that goodness. When you're behind closed door, you might feel some type of way. Boom, bam, he's slamming my girl all up and down, but I'm not doing that stretch because my woman thought about me to the point where she knew I wasn't going to agree, but she did that thing anyway. That shows, I know it's abstract. Some might not get it. You know what type of love that takes? A woman.
No,
I don't know about that.
Not if she's a hoe. Not if
Listen,
she's a hoe.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's not that
wait.
big of a sacrifice. It might not
Okay,
be
let
that
me
big of a
restart.
sacrifice.
So you cleave the hoe.
A
That's
lot of
what you're
men
saying.
do. A lot of men do.
Wait.
A lot of men do and don't realize it.
So okay, let me just put it straight out there.
No, but your
So,
point is good. I like your point. It's a good point. It's a
okay,
good point. I mean, it's
you
something to
got
contemplate.
you got a 20-30 stretch. Your girl
Well,
goes
now
sleep,
we
so
had
make that
something
go.
to.
She go without you knowing to make that go away. How long you gonna be mad?
Well, let me tell you
Well,
this. Well, let me just answer. If I had a 20-30 stretch, the judge would make a deal for her that he could clap those cheeks once every week for the next 10 years or some shit. Like he ain't gonna
You
clap it
always
just
gotta
once.
change the
She
story.
gotta come over there and clap. Well, you changed it. Yeah, we didn't know it was 20 years. You know, he ain't gonna just take it once. Especially if it's good. He say, listen, you know what? I'll make a deal with you. You know, give me once a month on a Tuesday night. Come over here, let me clap the cheeks. And you know, for a
But
certain duration.
there was
Okay,
a plea deal is when you take a lesser amount of time, right? I ain't from the street, y'all.
that's
Right?
yeah.
So there was already a plea deal in place, but because she knew the judge, she went behind. They went to high school together. I don't know if y'all listen to the whole thing. I'll play it again, but because Hank just came on the panel as well. But they went to high school together, so she knows the judge. Like this is not like a professional type of relationship. When they come to jail, it's like, you don't want to see your man go to jail, but at the same time, what did you do? What are you doing? What did you
Ooh,
do to
well,
have to go to jail?
here's another perspective. If he's that influential where he can change it because of some cheeks, that means you can change his mind in other ways, and you might want to approach it that way.
Sean,
Yeah,
really?
Huh?
really,
The
Okay,
judge?
watch
really.
this.
Hey, Precious, I got a question. Since when did judges stop taking money?
I don't know. Obviously, they taking cheeks now.
Now the currency's cheeks now?
Okay, watch this. Precious, if you had a man and he had to do 5 years, would you hold it down with him?
With him? Yes. If I was married to him, yeah. I'm married
Nah.
to you.
Oh, wait. Married?
Yeah, we're married.
Okay, 10.
I'm married to you.
Oh, I forgot.
But
You're
I'm
a
not going to sleep
unicorn.
with the judge so you can get a lesser sentence. First of all, there's integrity. Like, what type of what? Kenny, you're
No,
disappointing me a little bit
no.
because
Here's the thing. I never told you to go do that. It's after the fact. Now you're telling me that you did this for me. What can I do? So I'm only speaking on after the fact. It's not like I'm encouraging you to go throw up your legs up in his chambers and go do what you need to do for me. This is an act that you took upon yourself without me knowing, on my consultation as my wife. So
yeah,
you
but
was wrong. You was wrong from the boot.
but that's why I asked, what did he do? Because she probably don't even know what he did. Like, you know what I mean? Like when he took it upon himself to do whatever was done to get him in this predicament. As
Okay,
a man, you're a man first. So if you're a man, you have to be accountable for what you have done. And
okay,
if I'm
true.
your wife, then I'll stand by you, but I'm not going to sleep with the judge so you get a lesser sentence. We're going to deal with this like adults. We're going to deal with it how we need to deal with it so that we get the best outcome possible, but that shouldn't include me having to sleep with the judge to do that.
Okay.
Precious.
So in my opinion, she's a hoe. Yes,
Okay,
Trey.
what's fair? Could we
I
rewind it
worked
so
in law
everyone can
enforcement
see?
long enough to know that if a judge is going to give you probation, it's because he wants to give you probation. He don't need no incentive to give you probation. She wanted to smash that judge.
Could we?
That's all
Could
it
we
is.
That's a high school friend, but I'm gonna bring roll it back. But hello, Hank, how are you this evening?
What's up, Big Hank?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
We're
Just coming
doing
in,
good.
just coming into the conversation. I
Yeah.
don't know what I stepped into. Right on.
I'm gonna roll this back for everyone to see, everyone that's on the panel now. Where are we at?
Okay.
here?
Here we go. Dear Leon and Zach, so I can't get into detail because this case is still open and pending, but to make a long story short, I got into some legal trouble and was facing some real time. I can't get into the details, but I was going to have to sit down for a long time. So I got a lawyer and he was preparing me to take a plea deal. Well, the way things turned out, my wife knew the judge. They used to go to high school together, and she said she would call him and see what she could do. I can't believe I'm telling y'all this, but my wife slept with the judge, and now I won't have to go to jail, and he's just giving me probation. When I asked my wife about it, she said she did what she had to do to keep me free and not to bring it up anymore. But it's really bothering me. I can't take it. Is she a hero or a HO?
Damn.
See, so it wasn't no plea deal. He was about, when you hear long, you doing 20 and better. That's from what I know. You understand? She went without his consent. So just to be clear, Precious, if my woman comes to me and tells me that she's going to do this thing, the social contract says I'm going to tell her don't do it because I did something and I have to deal with it. And if you choose to leave me, I can't fault you because I can't hold up your life like that for my decision. Unless there's a different caveat to that. It's upon you because you're a unicorn. You don't carry yourself like most women. So it's an anomaly. You see a woman stay with a man for 20 odd years, 30 odd years. Listen, Winnie Mandela didn't even stay faithful to Mandela himself. She was out there getting her pokers on. You understand? So I wouldn't expect you to do that. But if your wife, without your knowing, goes and does this thing for you, I don't care how anybody outside looks at it. You may be mad at her, but guess what? Her only consideration was you. Even though I wouldn't have her do it if I knew. What can you do post? You can't do anything. You just have to accept it.
Together. I don't think he was the whole interest of, you can't open a door for a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be like,
But Precious, if he had knowledge, it would be egregious. But she did that without his knowledge to save him, and that's a decision she made. You understand? He had no say in it.
So Ken, to your point, you asked, what can you do? You can leave. That's one option. You can stay. That's the other option. Now, you're saying it because perhaps it's already said and done, but again, like I said, if she asked him about it, if she asked me about it, I don't know that I would answer, no, don't do it. That's what I would think I would answer. But everybody, you can't, it's not cut and dry that way. There's a lot of different circumstances. But the point that she didn't ask him is where I'm like, yo, that's the issue that I have. It's not about what you did. It's about the fact that you did it and you broke the trust regardless of how much you felt you was establishing. And that trust is what is the condition of our relationship, including why you even making that decision, because you trust enough but if you don't trust enough to speak to me about something and you just go ahead and do it, you basically saying, I'm gonna do what I'm leading now.
You just swept the leg of the whole thing you said before with the hoish comment. You know that, right?
No, I didn't, because what I said last time is that it depends on if she spoke to him. I didn't say that when they had the conversation, what the outcome would be. And what I'm saying is that conversation is what leads to the outcome or the decision one way or the other. And I'm not making a decision one way or the other or saying what my decision would be. I don't know that.
But
I'm saying that. Go ahead.
You are interacting the caveat that he knew. That changes the whole dynamic of this discussion. What is done without his knowledge, he cannot be culpable for. You understand?
I guess
I'll tell you what your flaw is. And let me just tell him what the flaw is in this thing. If your wife came to you and said, listen, I'm gonna bust it out for the judge to get you off. And wait a minute, let me say it. And it's your choice. And you say, okay, honey, go bust it out for the judge to get me off. You think she's gonna look at you the same way? You think if you told her to go trade her virtue to keep you out of jail, you think she's gonna come home thinking she still loves you as much?
What virtue does she have? Wait, what virtue does she have if she going to bust it open? What virtue?
Hold on for a second. Well, let me tell you, women barter the box all the time in different ways. Okay, so let me just say.
Women sacrifice their virtue in all different ways.
And it gives you the choice. Hey, listen, I'll get you off, but I'm gonna have to go bust it out for the judge. And you say yes, she ain't coming back to you to say.
Well, I mean, again, what do you call virtuous is really the question.
Don't get hung up on a word. I'm just saying that.
No, I'm
saying whether she was virtuous or not. If you said yes to that, if you said yes to that question,
use whatever word you want. What principles do you value? You can put whatever words you want to put in.
If your wife came to you and said, listen, in order to get you off, I'm gonna go sleep with the judge, and you said, yeah, honey, please do that. She's not gonna look at you ever again the same. You're gonna look at her different. And she's going to look at you different because you said, go compromise yourself to keep me out of jail.
What's the difference? What's the difference, Payne, if she already compromised herself?
What are you talking about? I'm talking about
she already compromised herself, and now she coming to me. You telling me that I'm going to have a different perspective that she compromised herself and coming to me.
She did it. No. I said before she did it, she says, honey, you got this sentence coming up. I'm going to go bust it out for the judge to get you off. And you say, okay, honey, please do that.
First off, I didn't say the mistake that you're making. First off, Payne, there is no mistake because I never said I'm going to choose that one way or the other. I said the issue was that she didn't come to me with it. I said the issue was that she didn't come to me.
Scenario. I'm saying the scenario where she did come to you and you said, okay, honey, to get me off, go bust it out for the judge.
You are changing the dynamic.
No, you changed the dynamic yourself.
No, I did not. I stayed within the dynamic. That is post nut. There is nothing that you can do. She already did the deed.
You said, but you did use a scenario that she would have came to you. You said that you would tell her not to do it.
I would tell her no. That would be me.
That's right. And suppose you said yes, do it. Suppose you would have said yes.
Payne, I am not changing the directive because that was posed to me by Precious.
I'm asking you a question. Okay, let's take it away from you. If the guy wife came to him first and said, I'll get you off, but I'm gonna go bust it out for the judge, and the husband said yes, she's never gonna look at him the same either.
That is your
she's gonna be waiting for him to get his lick back.
Hold on. That is your opinion because
Okay, well, of
Absolutely.
course it's my opinion.
every man holds a different perspective.
Okay,
I gave you
all
the
right, I'm with
caveat.
you.
I gave you the caveat of how others would possibly look at it. They might be dealing with the initial sting of her doing that, the betrayal and the mistrust. But as that temperature simmers, you know what it takes for a woman to actively give her body to another man and for you, her husband.
Today's woman, are you kidding me?
Okay,
That's
given the see, you're not
yeah.
listening, you just responding. You know what it
I
takes
hear
for.
you.
Okay, you can't hear me if I can't finish the sentence. And I do respect what you're saying, All-Pain, because you gave a different caveat, which I did answer because you said,
Okay,
what would I do?
I'll
And
be
I already
quiet.
told you, what I would do. I would have to eat that time because I'm not having my woman
Okay.
defile herself for my misdeeds. But
You can't say
if your wife wants to do that, you have a choice. If you ask me after fact, what am I going to do? For better or for worse? For richer or for poorer? I might have to deal with the initial sting. But once that simmers down, no matter how mad I am at her for doing what she did, she had me in mind, even though she went to a stretch that I did not want her to. What, I'm supposed to discard her? That's not what you do with your wife. That's the problem that we fight on these panels every day because people are so willing to give up on people without
if
looking
she
in your
busting
own
out
window,
for
knowing that
busting
you
out
do
for
dirty.
somebody, I'm not giving on her. I got permission from God to leave her ass.
Did she breach the contract? Yes or no?
You have permission from God to leave her because of adultery. You also have the tenant, which states for better or for worse. So you have a choice
Okay,
whether
yeah.
you want to leave or
Except
not.
busting it out for somebody else. That
She
worse
wasn't the
to a
one
point.
doing the time. It's not worse for her. You know what? Listen. I worked the warrant squad my first 2 years in law enforcement. I did a sexual assault unit, and I was also on the fraud unit. I've had to speak to judges all the time. I don't know where and what podunk country town they live in where you can just call up a judge. I can't. I've never been able to do it, and I don't know where she is. She had to have known this guy prior to this. This sounds like hoe activity to me. It sounds like nothing but hoe activity to me. Straight
She
up,
did know.
she had to
She
have
knew
known
from
because
high
you
school.
cannot just call a judge. First of all, you're gonna get his secretary. First of all, you'll get his clerk. Second after that, before you even get to a judge. Even when I used to try to go in and go get these warrants, I'd be sitting out in their lobby for an hour and a half. So the fact that she can just call a judge working this case, and what are the odds that this judge got assigned to his case? First of all, that's a lot of luck involved right there. But this judge got assigned to his case, and I just so happen to know the judge that I can call him up and arrange for us to get together so we can sleep together to get you probation.
Hey,
Nah,
Trey,
I don't believe it at all. I believe that
you don't know
this was
people.
already. Can I finish, bro? I believe this was already in the works, and she used this as an opportunity to do something which she probably already wanted to do. Think about it. He's a judge, and her dude's facing time. He's already better. He's already a better option. She probably been wanting to sleep with him. Ho.
And in fairness to what Trey is saying, if he's a judge and he didn't get off of the case because he knew her, that's already an issue.
Sean, stop riding the fence. Pick a side. You do that a lot.
And now
you're right,
technically he has to recuse himself now because he slept with the defendant's wife. So technically he can't even be on the case.
So
well,
Trey,
he knew the defendant's wife prior to being on the case, so he had to recluse himself anyway, but he didn't. Which
he could have known her as long as he didn't have a sort of any type of relationship with her. He didn't have any relationship with her. But the moment they decided to sleep together, he has to recuse himself.
We don't know if they had a relationship together prior. Only thing we knew is they went to high school together. That's how he knew of her, because they went to high school. So now the chance of them having a relationship from there, I don't know. Maybe he did have sex with her one time while he was in high school. You know what I'm saying? It might have been a one-off. So that's why he felt comfortable to call him. So you could get a hold to a judge if you want to. There's ways to figure out. If you as a hard ankle Trey, he probably gonna be slow to see your ass. But if it's a nice looking woman, he may be open to that. I'm sure she had. it wouldn't be the first time he got offered some ass to try to help somebody out they know. I'm sure it wasn't the first. It may not be the last. So that could be the case too. But I don't know if I was her, she probably should have took it to a grave and not told him anything. Truth be told, if she gonna do it, she probably should have took it to the grave and let it be what it is. But there's no way I would have gave my woman permission to do anything like that. I'm not gonna give you no green light. We're not doing that. And if we wasn't married, we won't be married for long. Now I know what Sean's talking about. Sean said I'd rather her give up her cheeks than him giving up his cheeks once he go get in the Fed and Big Bubba's gonna make him his bitch. That's what Sean worried about. I know why you say you don't mind going down.
What are you talking about, Hank? No, I never said that. So I don't know what you talk about. I actually said that. What I actually said prior to wait, no, before you said that, what I actually said is that if he's willing to compromise for cheeks, that means he's willing to compromise other ways, and there's other ways to explore that, is what I actually said.
Okay. No, so in other words, I said what I
So what do you mean by that?
So what I mean by that is that they are now you can put pressure on him in other ways because he's already folding pressure. So take it how you want it.
Hank, you made very valid points, but
I don't know how I want it.
But these are posts. If you know your wife did that for you and you had no knowledge of it, you'd be hot. But would you actually leave her if you know what she did once you simmer down? Just asking.
If my wife cheated on me to try
let me redo it. If you know you had to do a stretch, and when they say a stretch, that's 20 or better.
Okay.
She went and did that thing for you without you knowing, but she had to come to grips and come to tell you. Remember, you said she could have took it to the grave with her, but she did not. She went back to her husband, and this is the thing I did for you. Would you discard her?
So, look, if I had to do a stretch, I'm already dead wrong anyway. Right? I'm dead wrong because I put her in a situation. Now the family's got to suffer if I'm married to her. So I can't be completely mad at her if she did what she did in order to get me out.
Thank you.
I can't. Because first of all, I'm wrong for doing whatever crime I did to get us in that situation. I'm wrong.
Agreed. But if you have no knowledge,
if she, regardless if I knew it or not, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if I put her in that situation like that where she felt the need to even do that, I'm wrong for that. As a man, I'm wrong. What the hell I look like doing a crime? I'm missing out on my kids. I'm missing out on my other family members. Yeah, I'm wrong. So, man, if something like that happens, she don't tell me, or she does decide to tell me, I can't be completely mad at her because I put her in the situation. Whether she wanted to do it or not, I put her in that situation. That never should have been the situation if I didn't do what I did.
And that's why
Precious, am I tripping right now? Since when in the legal system
I don't know.
Now let him talk because I got one for that.
Has cheeks been the deciding factor on whether you do time or get probation? If he was able to get probation out of this, that means it was always an option. He didn't need to get the cheeks from old boy's wife to get probation. It was always an option.
Right, because if it wasn't an option, they would have looked at his file or proceedings or whatever and say, how was
probation's off the table?
Yeah, like how. So, but my thing is, while the man is wrong for putting his family in a bad situation, he didn't put her in the situation of sleeping with the judge. She took that upon herself to do it so that he wouldn't have to spend as much time in jail. And so she then put herself, to me as a woman, is like, now you putting yourself in the man's position to get something done or get something achieved when that's not what you should be doing as a woman, in my opinion.
But that was agreed upon. That's why I rephrased what I said and I gave it segments. What Trey is doing is only giving you a tidbit. There were options. There were 3 options on the table. Take it to trial, the plea deal. Or when you take it to trial, they decide whether you're going to do this or get probation. Because I was in that. I could have took a plea
If you're
deal.
found guilty.
I could, exactly, but those are still the options on the table. So you're not telling the whole story. Because I had 15 years Fed time facing me. Lawyer said, do you want to do a plea deal? I said no, because I did nothing. The judge chose to give me 5 years probation. There were 3 things on the table. 2 of them when you go to trial. Yes or no?
No.
Well, I mean,
but go ahead.
What's interesting, we arguing
Go
about
ahead. No, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
If somebody gets probation, that means that probation was always an option. I have processed and testified on enough cases where I knew for a fact he was not even probation wasn't even in the realm of possibilities for this man. He was going to do some time. The question is how much time was he going to do? We knew he was going to do time. The question was how much time was he going to do? If probation was an option, she didn't need to sleep with this judge at all.
Probation was on the table, but they may not knew that. They may not know that as a couple. They may not know that. I don't know if they had a lawyer or not.
They had a lawyer.
Okay, but the judge knew, but the point. I mean, the defendant didn't know.
The point that I was making.
The judge. And if they don't have if they don't have a lawyer, who's he gonna have to tell?
Every defendant has a lawyer.
Well,
you give him one by the state.
Trey, what you're doing is give the extremes for certain cases toward what we had here. You understand? Certain cases, that's not gonna be on the table. So I do agree with you. But that given case, he said, okay, that was the outcome of what was negotiated.
But what I'm saying is,
plea deal or probation. Those 3 things were brought up within that discussion right there. So you can't say it's wrong. So that means it was in. Best case scenario, you get probation. Worst case, you got to do that stretch.
Well,
in the middle
and he could have got best case scenario without his wife.
The point that I was making earlier,
like the Cheeks didn't make the deal.
Hold on 1 second, Sean.
The Cheeks here did not make this deal happen. She believes that because it's probably what the judge told her, but he played her. The judge played her. The judge he probably wanted to smash his high school too.
Trey, you got an excellent point. But the point that
if this was always an option, if probation was on the table, she could have had a conversation with him and they could have found out. If he got probation, that means it was always an option. She didn't need to sleep with him. She chose to do it on her own. That is whole activity.
I'm not disputing what you're saying, Trey.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate what you did, and I would divorce her.
Hear what you said, Trey.
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like a little bit that y'all is saying, well, if she's a married woman and if the pussy gonna get me out of jail, then yeah, give it up. But don't go out here and cheat on me. Don't go out here and do me wrong.
That's not what I said. That's why I revised it for you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Here's what I'm saying. The point that I was making is that we're dealing with a corrupt judge, period. And corruption, if you're gonna go corrupt, then go all the way. And that's why I'm like, y'all sitting here arguing over a corrupt judge, period. Trey's making all the legal points that are very accurate, and I agree, but this ain't legal. What he was doing ain't legal. He's corrupt, and that's why I say you could approach it different ways. And once she identified he was corrupt, and you came to me with his corruption, I can deal with that differently than sitting there having a conversation about all what we talking about.
And I think about all them Italian mobs. I never seen an Italian mob's wife go smash the judge to get him off. Like, this isn't a thing. She chose to do that. She wanted to sleep with him. This isn't a real thing.
You're right. You're right. You're lending to my point. That's why I said you're dealing with a corrupt judge. And the mob is gonna go to the corrupt. They're gonna be like, oh, word, he doing that, and they're gonna fix that judge.
Trey.
So you talk about the Italian mob not doing it, not seeing it. Well, maybe because they had the money. They didn't.
But that's what I said. That's what I said earlier. Since when do judges not take money?
Let's talk about those stories where they done bought judges.
Again, they may not even have a lawyer. We don't even know, because if they had a lawyer, they would already, some of that probation conversation would already been put up front, and so she wouldn't have to deal with what she did, and he already know what the deal was. But it's obvious. I don't think a lawyer was involved.
Hank, they're assigned a lawyer at arraignment. Everybody has a
Man, look here,
lawyer.
man. Look here. I don't know if you ever use a public defenders. Them motherfuckers ain't shit. They don't know the law.
Still a lawyer, though. You said they don't have a lawyer. Still an attorney. It's a
Okay,
legal
yeah,
attorney.
yeah.
Now, whether you want to say whether or not they're good
I'd
or
rather
not
take
is
my
irrelevant.
take my
They have
chance
an attorney.
myself.
Yo, Trey,
I take my
you
chance
grasping at
myself.
straws. You know, public defenders are mostly percentage-wise working in conjunction with the court just to get the case done.
That's not my
Because
problem.
I had one. Then I had to pay for a lawyer.
He said that he didn't have an attorney. He had an attorney. Of course he had an attorney. They all
That's
have
a
attorneys.
fact. That's a fact. But
Yeah.
Trey, you
I roll the dice myself. I speak on my own behalf. The hell with him.
The man's
But
wife is a hoe, and it is what it is.
okay, to
She,
address
like
what
she said,
Precious
she
said.
did what she had to do. And you
The
say,
initial
kiss her on the
statement
cheek
I
and say,
made-
thank you, baby. Go pack your shit and get out of here. I'm divorcing.
Trey,
Thank you, though. I appreciate you.
Trey, since I've met you on the panels, you age like sharp cheese. You have a bitter tinge when it comes to women. I don't know why.
Okay, let's not do that. You don't know me, brother. Let's move on.
No,
Let's
I
move
said
on.
from
I
what
don't
I've
need-
seen.
I don't need the personal. You don't know me. I don't care what your personal opinion is of me. It's irrelevant.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it anyway because you don't control the panel.
No, because you want to get off topic. Let's stay on topic.
No, I'm
This isn't
staying
about
on
me.
topic.
But this isn't about me, though.
Because
It's not about me. But it's not
Okay,
about me. Let's
well,
just stay on topic.
Okay,
Let's talk about the case. Let's just talk about the case. You don't need to talk about me. This isn't about me.
Guys, so I'm
let's
gonna go around. I'm gonna go around, right? And just hoe or hero. Okay? I'm gonna start with you, Kenny. Hoe or hero?
Hero.
Sean, hoe or hero?
Oh. Oh.
Pain.
Oh.
Sean, you were supposed to say once. Okay.
She's a hero. She's a hero.
Ooh.
But she's divorced.
Pink, hoe or hero?
Oh man, she was a hero for him.
Hero, hoe, hero. Trey. Oh well, we know.
Oh.
What the heck? What'd you say, hey?
Pink said she was a hero for him.
Oh.
All right, and I think she a hoe because I just you know it's just like men tell women you got to be accountable. So now that we're in this situation, what do we have to do for the best outcome? That's how we work together. But going to sleep with a judge is just not in the cards. that's not part of our plan. But again, she did do that by
I was
herself.
having technical difficulties. Did you hear that I said ho?
Yeah, we
Yes,
heard
we
you.
did.
Okay.
We did.
Right,
exactly.
Hey, Precious, I want to know.
No,
how
I was
she
having
told him,
technical difficulties. I was on
I
two
wanna know how
different
she told
platforms.
him. Did she say, "Listen, I spoke to the judge," and then I want to know, how do you tell your husband you slept with another man?
That you were that close to the
Right.
person.
Right. You slept with another man, but I did it for you though.
I think that's also narcissistic. I'm just saying. I think it's a bit narcissistic because now she will have something to hold over his head. This is why it's bothering him. At the end, he said, it's bothering me a lot. It's really bothering me. Because at the end of the day, he's probably feeling the shame and the guilt of not standing up like a man and taking his punishment like a man or dealing with his affairs like a man. Now, I'm not saying that he had no knowledge of her doing what she did, but they also didn't have a plan for what was going on in their life at the time. So I don't know. I just think that for a woman to want to go to that extent, you've known him from high school, since high school. That was an open door for you to use it as a hall pass, as a whatever to, use your femininity, but you ain't got to use your coochie. You ain't got to go that far with it.
So
to me,
Precious.
in my opinion.
Precious. Hank said
Well,
it best.
you know,
Take that shit to your grave. Because the only reason why she didn't take it to her grave is to hold something over her husband's head.
That's not
Why
true.
should he know that? Why would he? I mean, if you did it and he got off, you don't have to ever tell him. You don't have to ever. She's not doing me a favor by letting me in on that secret.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
agree.
just
If what I don't know, I don't know.
that's exactly it. Don't tell me that. Take that shit to your grave.
No
You
matter how
know,
you didn't
you
want to
did it
know.
for me.
I could
Take
have
it
just
to
thought
your
the judge
grave.
had a good heart. I was
Could,
like, oh,
could,
he got a great heart.
could you
He let me
fathom?
know.
Could you fathom what it takes a woman to admit something like that?
I don't care
Get out
what
of
it,
here.
what it,
Women
what
be
it took
giving
for her to do
beat
it.
away
Yeah,
for
because
chicken
you did
dinners,
her.
man. That shit ain't good. Man, come on. I mean, women ain't listen, man, what women are you talking about? Where? Men are looking for the kind of women you talking about.
Or pain. I'm just trying to see something. Can you even grasp it in your mind what it takes for anyone?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, you're not letting it finish.
I've been brought to the
Wait. Okay,
2020s,
tell me
man. Women been giving up this shit for chicken dinners.
Pain. Tell me the rest what I was about to say when you was agreeing. Tell me the rest what I was about to say. Go.
Well, you've been hammering me on my head. Do I understand what it takes for a woman to give them some boxes? Don't take them shit. That's the problem.
Finish. Hold on. I didn't finish what I had to say.
Okay, well.
See, that's the thing when you try to think for people. You already said something that I agree with at the beginning, which I disagree with Precious. Most men, the emotional thing of thinking about another dude inside his woman. That mental, that's the thing that he can't come to grasp with.
No, I ain't free to admit that.
I agree with you, Payne. That was the first point you brought up. I was trying to get to that before you cut me off.
Okay, man. All right. Sorry.
You made a very profound point. Most men can't fathom thinking another man is in their woman. You got 4 men up here right now. Ain't no man could fathom you thinking of another man inside what you believe.
Don't speak for me, brother. I know.
Oh yeah, I know. My bad.
I know women cheat. I can
my bad. All right, well.
Women.
All right, so finish the point, though.
Nah, I was trying to say I agree with your point, and that's the thing. When Precious brought it up, I said I don't necessarily agree with that thought. The stress is for most men is seeing another man inside and thinking about it. You can't let go. That mental. I can't believe that.
Well, then you agree she should take it to her grave, then.
Yeah, I did. When you said that, I was like this.
Okay. Now we understand.
Hink said the same thing. Hink was the first one to bring that up.
That's what I'm saying. Hink, that's where we should end the conversation. Take that shit to your grave.
Take it to your grave.
And the only point I made is if she didn't take it to her grave, then she told you she had a purpose to do that, and that purpose is not a nefarious purpose because she knows she should have taken that shit to her grave.
If the man is so self-righteous and has an issue with it, how about he go report the judge, tell him I want a new goddamn trial, and go from there? How about he do that? Now, he ain't going to do that. He going to take that goddamn plea deal and be happy as hell. And knowing he ain't got I don't know if he got federal or state time. I don't know which one. He going to take that win and keep it moving.
What Kenny said, what's done is done, right? What's done is done, right? Why we need to go back?
He can go report that judge if he wants to and say, hey, my wife.
That's just not sensible. That doesn't make any sense. It's already done. It's not going to change the fact that your wife slept with the judge. That's not changing anything.
Will sit there and say, I feel so guilty about taking this plea because my ex-wife has slept with the judge. I'm going to report this judge because it's not right. The Lord would want me to do this. And go and put myself in front of the jury of 12 or 6 or whatever it is and go from there.
See, the crazy part about it is he didn't go to jail, but now he's going to be mentally in jail about what happened with his wife and that judge. And so, you're not sitting doing time in a jail cell behind the wall, but now you probably not going to trust women. You might start dogging them out, you know what I mean? Because he was stripped of that decision making. it's already bad that you're in this situation, but now your wife goes and take it upon herself to give her body to a man who has more power than her husband. This man has the power to put your husband behind bars. So now you are giving your body to the man who has the most power in the situation. And so now it's bothering the husband. And I can understand why.
Precious, what if the judge would have gave him time anyway? Then what?
He would have
like,
been.
This is just a bad idea all around. This is a bad, I don't want to know what her thought process was going into this, which is why I think they just wanted to have sex. Because he could have lied to her and said, "Oh, nah, I'm still gonna give him time."
I don't think she would have. I don't think she would have.
Yeah, she would have told him that they had sex.
Right, exactly. She wouldn't have told him nothing. Exactly. See what I'm saying?
Woo, jeez. Well, Stacy, thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let me get to some of these comments, and then we're going to roll on to the final topic of the evening. Army Vet says she might have saved him, but she has lost him also because he's on social media platforms saying he has a problem with her actions.
That's true.
Tarika says, I think the wife is wrong for sleeping with another guy. What he do that he was going to do some time, I guess?
Yeah, that's what she said. What do you do?
Dorian says, I think she wanted to sleep with the judge in the first place. Yeah, because, talk about something. I took care of it. Scott Slim says, keep this in mind. She didn't have to tell him.
Absolutely.
No, but it was going to eat her alive. I think we talked about it last Monday or maybe the Monday before that, where I said that women will confess their sins before a man does. And to me, this is just another one of those examples. But she did it, of course, because her man was in trouble. But even if a woman doesn't confess through her mouth, she is going to. Women aren't made to be sleeping with a whole bunch of men. They're not made to be given we're not made to be giving our body to a lot of men. It makes us feel dirty. It makes us feel guilty. And for some women will do it. But even those women, they can't hide it for long. They in a corner crying their eyes out somewhere. They're contemplating ending their lives. I'm telling you, women can't handle that type of sexual that type of sexual energy. Especially you married and you know you're going out of your covenant. Like it's too heavy for a woman to hold. It really is. And women can front and act like they can do it, and they can try, but we the new men. No, you're fooling yourself. So even if she didn't tell him, it is going to affect another area of her life, another area of productivity, another area of where she's supposed to be giving herself to her husband. She knows that this part of her husband she gave to somebody else. So she's going to be feeling guilty about it, and it's going to come out. But you as a man got to be in tune with that, in tune with your woman. See, hey Cam, he says, I'm not going to look at her different. He says she took one for the team. Blaze says she busted open for the judge, so if she did it once, the chances are extremely high for her to do it again. Here's a solution: divorce. Congo English says, first of all, I am not going to jail for anything illegal, never. With that said, we need more details. What did he go to jail for? How long is the possible sentencing? Married, how long? All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you for being in the chat. I see y'all. Thank you so much. To your statement, what if the judge sentenced him anyway? Yeah, he already in the wrong, but he would have been wronger. Okay. Wronger. All right. So we're going to get to this final wronger. We're going to get to this this last topic on this evening of which type of cheating is worse, emotional, sexual, or financial. It is a video of Nick Cannon. I'm not quite sure who the woman is, so if anyone in the chat or if anyone on the panel know who she is, definitely inform me, because I don't know who she is. But I saw the conversation going back and forth between them two. And, we always talk about infidelity and cheating and things like that. But she asked Nick Cannon a question that I thought was interesting. So I wanted to pose the question to you guys as well. But before we get there, I do want to ask you, which cheating do you think is worse? Do you think it is the emotional cheating where you're not necessarily physical with someone, but you do have a bond with them? Is it the sexual, physical type, or financial where you're hiding or deceiving or not telling your significant other about money, debt, things of that nature? Which one do you think is worse? I'll start with you, Sean. Sean, you there?
Yes, I'm here. They're all equivalent. Cheating isn't a measuring of
No, you have
which
to. You
act.
have to. You have to pick one. So let's preface this by saying that yes, they're all bad. We're not advocating for you to do one over the other or whatever the situation is. However, if you had to choose one, and in this case you do, which one would you choose to be the worst out of the three?
The worst, emotional, financial, or physical. Cool. That's I don't know. Come back to me because they all the same to me. I can't differentiate the three. I know which one is the least to me. Financial is the least to me, but I can't say out of the other two which one is the worst. They both the same.
Oh wow! So you said financial is the least. Is not as bad as the other two, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because I can make money and, you hiding your money and all that. Yeah, I'm going to be a little, but it's not really, affecting my emotions and it's not affecting my mental and it's not affecting physical because I can make that. That's just training. That's just, something. But if you doing the other portion, that training is something that I don't even think I want to endure.
Okay, Trey, which one is worse?
For a woman, physical. For a man, financial.
Pink?
Yeah, it's not even close. That financial cheating, because if you financially cheating and hiding money and putting getaway fund, I'm assuming you already emotionally cheated because you're doing it to try to get with another man. And if you didn't already get with him, you know what I'm saying, you on your way. So yeah, financial cheating would be the worst to me.
Okay. Our pain?
Sexual, physical. The rest of the shit I can fix. But she busting it up for a real guy, man. For a real one, it's done. We're done. Fuck it. There's no sense in me being with a woman and she's fucking somebody else. So excuse my language. So I can fix the financial thing. The emotional one, women are emotional beings anyway. I don't know how she could cheat on me. I know how to fix that too. But the sexual one, she's just telling you ain't the guy. I mean, how many times you gonna get beat on your head about that one? So sexual for me.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Kenny?
I think financial for a man. I would lean toward emotional for a woman because you play with a woman. Like Bob Marley said, to awaken a woman's emotions and not to love her would make you a coward. But most women, you play with a woman's emotions more so. They'll do more than key up your car. I'll go back to Lorena Bobbitt. I'll go back to we could use movies, Waiting to Exhale. There's certain things because women are emotional creatures that they'll see no limit and put a passion behind getting back at you because they can't physically beat you up. We also did one like earlier. Remember that football player that went completely crazy when he found out that his woman spent up all his money and he was dead broke and he was like going bonkers in front of those cops. You make a man financially destitute. That's a whole different ball game. That's when you could be as dark as me. You turn light skin like Lenny Kravitz. That's my take on that.
All right. All right. I think they're all equally as bad. I do think, to me, the worst for women, I would, in my opinion, would be sexual. Emotional, women are emotional. However, you can learn to manage your emotions. Financial, I think that's bad, but women will find a way to bounce back from financial because they'll probably use something in order to bounce back or just work in general. But sexual, I think, to me is worse because, for one, I don't know what you're bringing back to me. Like I financial, we could work it out. We could both work. We could do what we got to do, grind it out, whatever. Emotional, again, I can learn how to harness my emotions and things like that. But physical, to me, is worse because I don't know what you bringing back to me. I don't know. You done slept with her, so now you got all her energies inside of you, and so now you come back to me. And as a woman and as women, we are receivers. When a man goes sleeps with another woman, a lot of women do know if they're in tune with themselves. They know you slept with another woman. They could tell if you slept with them and took something out on them because of somebody else. They could tell those things if they're in tune with themselves and really in tune with the person that they're with. So to me, it's physical because you can tell a lot about someone through that, in my opinion. But I'm going to get into the video, and she asks Nick Cannon a question that I want you guys to answer as well.
Now, what cheating is, there can be emotional infidelity, there can be sexual infidelity, there can be sexual and emotional infidelity, there can even be financial infidelity, but that's something else. But there's lots of men who are sexually monogamous with their partners, but they may be emotionally.
They got pen pals.
Yeah.
They got,
or they're with their, or
texting,
with their,
DMing.
yes. Would you rather your partner have sex with someone that they don't love, it didn't mean anything, or be in love with someone they never have sex with?
Okay, so I'm going to pose a question to you guys. Arpain, I think I already know what you're going to say, but we just going right away.
I'll try to be nuanced. Right.
Would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love or be in love with someone they never had sex with?
I'd rather her be in love with somebody she don't have sex with. She busts it open, it's over. And whatever, there's all kinds of different kind of love. So if she's talking about it's not romantic love, then as long as that guy in the front of my face shaking my hand, so it depends. So if it's one of those other four, except the Eros one, can I get over that? Because some people have life before me, but if she's busting it open, I'm done. I can't change my tune on that.
Okay, yeah, I think there are 7 types of love. Go ahead, Hank.
No, I'm saying, Arpain, what if she laying down, but she's thinking about Thomas every time you with her. You laid up, and you think you giving up,
guys, man.
But you Thomas.
You had shit to it though, man. She calling me Jeffro. Hey, Jeffro, Tony. Yeah, man, my name's Richard. Hey, Tony, Listen, that's romantic love she's in. I mean, if we're gonna keep it a buck, I mean, it's a tough scenario. But if I had to choose, like we have to choose, right? That's the one I would choose. What I said.
Okay. So, Kenny, would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love or be in love with someone they never had sex with?
That's loaded in so many ways.
Answer the question, man.
I don't want nobody getting physical with said person, so I'll pick the first rather than the latter. Because once you said that, I thought about Tupac, Jada Pinkett.
Wait, you would pick the first one? You would rather her have sex with someone they don't love?
No, the latter. I meant the latter.
Or be in love with someone they never had sex with?
Yeah.
Okay. Sean? Would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't
Oh,
love or be in love with someone they don't have sex with?
be in love with somebody they don't have sex with. That's easy.
Okay.
Simply because you're gonna love a lot of people in life, and if I'm not your first love, you already love somebody before I even met you, and it's kind of like you already had sex with somebody. I didn't even met you, but I don't want you to continue to have sex with the person, and I don't mind that you love a person. All right, go ahead and love them, just don't do nothing with them. That would be like saying you can't admire somebody, you can't be attracted to somebody, and that just is nonsense. That's just insecurity and immaturity.
Is that have your cake and eat it too? I guess you can't eat it in that scenario. Okay, never mind. Trey, would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love or be in love with someone they never have sex with?
Be in love with somebody they never had sex with. Let him do the heavy lifting. He want to be emotional with him? Go ahead. You want to cry on his shoulder? Go right on ahead. You want to tell him how bad your day was? Go right. Let him do all the heavy lifting. Don't put your mouth on him and don't open your legs to him. I'm good. He could do all. She can call him every time something bad happened. He would cry and sounds fun. Sounds good to me. I'll sign up for that. Right. I would take that right now, Precious. If there was a woman who was like, oh no, I won't have to bring any emotions. You'll never have to worry about managing my emotions. I got another guy for that. Perfect. Great. All I need is, look, I'm really truly signing up. We sign up for your body first. That's what we signing up for. You ain't never had a man come up to you and want to talk to you about your personality and your charisma. It's always the physical first. That's what I'm committing to. That's the loyalty. That's the monogamy. Is the physicality of it. So no, give me that. Keep your body for me, because that's what I signed up for. And let him, he can do all. I love gay friends. You got a gay friend? Good. Go talk to him. Go talk to him.
You hit
Let
it.
him have the emotions. Great. You go talk to him about that nonsense. So yeah, she can go be in love with another dude by all means.
Trey, you just hit it on the nose. That gay friend that a lot of women have, and and we accept, because you giving all that emotion to them. You hit it on the nose. You hit the nail on the head.
So her friend is gay for you, but in reality, he's a heterosexual man. He's knocking that woman down.
That's where your lack of.
That's not the scenario. The scenario is that she's
scenario
in love.
You said you okay with her having a gay friend.
Right. If he's gay, then they're not having sex, sir. If he's gay, they're not having sex. He's not attracted to women.
You think he's gay?
Okay,
you
so
think
you're changing. You're moving the goalposts, Hank. You're changing it.
No, you said you okay with her having a gay friend.
Then he's not gay, then, Hank.
No, he's not
gay.
But you thought he was because just what you know.
Hank,
you making stuff up now, Hank.
What I was saying, and I think what Trey was saying is that the gay friend is equivalent to the person she's not having sex with. Not that person is not gay or is gay. The point is,
I don't want my woman having no gay friends.
Okay, well, again, so it's your chance to answer. So go ahead and give us your answer.
What did you say? I don't want her. What was the question? Which one is the most?
I'm sorry, my bad. I'm just these shenanigans I'm hearing. Woo! The gay friends, all right for the emotional night drag, but
so Hank,
you won their rainbow crew around any other time. Anyway, would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love or be in love with someone they don't have sex with?
Man, they both bad. I mean, God damn.
You got to answer the question.
I'd rather, calm down, Payne, calm down. I'd rather her deal with the one that the emotional one. God damn. Yeah, we're not doing that physical shit. She's not doing that.
I knew that was a hard one. I kind of figured, no pun intended, but I figured that you guys wouldn't go with the other one. And I wouldn't go with
it was easy for me though. It was really easy for me.
I wouldn't go with the other one either. Would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love, but be in love with someone they never have sex with? I agree that some people do have different connections with other people. Now, you know, you do have to have some boundaries and things like that. But if we had to choose, that's the one that I would choose as well, because I can't tell you who to love, as long as you ain't in love with them. But I can't choose you. I can't tell you who to love. But we're going to finish watching the video so we see what Nick Cannon has to say.
You can be fantasizing in love with Drake all you want.
No, a real person.
Oh, where
love
does
with
he
them.
live?
She's not going to have physical sex with him, but she's in romantic love with him. Or would you rather her have sex where she has no feelings for the person?
She could be in love.
All right. Now, most
She can be in
women,
love.
and you guys back, you ladies, rather him have sex with some random woman than fall in love with someone.
And that's where we differ. But
But I can see women feeling that way.
right. I can see it too, because women are emotional and they want all that, you know, to themselves. However, honestly, to tell you the truth, I think there's a lot of men that don't even tell their wives they have a friend that they tell things to. They don't even tell their wives everything. Like, you know what I mean? So that happens. That goes down. That is a real thing. Ekene, I believe the link is pinned to the top of the chat. I believe I pinned it up there. If I didn't, I can repin it. If you'd like to join the panel. But you know, those things like that do happen where, you know, women have emotional, I think that there are women who do have emotional relationships with men that they don't have sex with, because that's what she depends on him for. She depends on him, and she could have a man, a boyfriend, a husband, whatever, but she depends on this man to be her emotional crutch, to be her emotional refueler. And I think that unfortunately that can mess a woman up, because at the end of the day, if you're using another man to do that, then that means that person is going to always have to, you know, be able to refill you in a way that your significant other doesn't do. So I think that definitely does happen on the men's part and on the women's part. But let me see, Ekene. I'm gonna share the link again.
And Precious, what you just said, I can understand why she said women, because women are conditioned to really embrace infidelity by society, and that's part of what we are having debates about all the time in this generation, and it because there is a double standard to that, and women are now starting to feel like I don't like being on that side of the double standard. But as the men just said, nah, we wouldn't put up with physical. So I urge women to feel the same way. Why are you putting up with physical infidelity?
Right, I agree. Ekene, thank you for joining the panel. How are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
All right, what's going on? You there?
Doing good.
Rice.
What would you like to add, Ekene? Would you like to answer that question? Would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love, or be in love with someone they never have sex with?
Are you talking about a woman or a man? Which one are you talking about?
Man.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm a man.
I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. Let's just say you're, you know, with someone. Would you rather your partner have sex with someone they don't love, or would you rather them be in love with someone they never have to have sex with?
If you ask my wife that question, I might be okay with it. But if you ask me about my wife, hell to the no.
No, you got to pick one, my man.
No, of course not. Why would I allow some?
No. I think you listen. If you had you had your wife, right? Not your wife, but you had a woman, right? Would you rather her? Would you rather her have sex with a man with no emotion, or have a friend that she's emotionally attached to, but they never had sex?
I would choose the lesser of the evil, no emotions.
Oh, but they're having sex. That's okay.
No, hell no, it's not okay. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're still missing the question then. So
Well,
she has.
no, but what you're saying is that she's going to have sex with either of them, right?
No, the one that she's emotionally attached to, they don't have sex ever.
Oh, okay, I'm cool with that one. Of course, I'm cool with that. You're not going inside my woman. Hell no.
Okay, now we're on the same page. All right.
Oh, okay. No, nobody's going inside my woman.
What if she calls out Thomas's name while you with her?
Then I'm just gonna stop having sex right away because that would destroy my mojo, man. She's supposed to be calling me, not Thomas. Because I might have to kill Thomas.
God,
that's funny, man.
Wow, you gonna kill Thomas? Wow.
Thomas ain't nothing but an engine. You ain't never seen that cartoon?
Have any plans to resign? Excuse me. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Dr. Newsom. Have any plans to resign?
Either way, Thomas is going to be dead.
Is that how you would treat Thomas?
Oh my
God. Worse than that, bro.
Thank you so much for joining. What would you like to add to the panel?
Oh, well, I found out that you guys were online, so I was like, let me just come, spend a little time with you guys and spice it up. But I think I think it's like, it's a very, very interesting conversation, but I just got to the channel, I didn't listen to you guys that much, so I wouldn't have anything to add to the panel at the moment, except if you guys are ending the show. But if you continue, then I might add something later.
Well, no, this is the last topic, but I wanted to read something from Forbes Advisor, and it says, lack of commitment is the most common reason for divorce. Marriage is not always easy, so success requires both spouses to be dedicated to their union and serious about making it last. That's why it's not surprising that a lack of commitment could spell disaster for a couple. In fact, 75% of individuals and couples cited lack of commitment as the reason for their divorce. This was the most common cause of a marriage ending, exceeding even infidelity. 60% of divorced couples cited infidelity as a reason for their divorce. Infidelity is another leading cause of divorce, with 60% of couples citing a partner's unfaithfulness as a reason their union ended. When a marriage is supposed to be monogamous and one party fails to fulfill this obligation, trust can be lost and the marriage may be irretrievably broken. So infidelity, while is high up on the list of divorce, the number one reason this article is saying that people are getting divorced is lack of commitment. So with lack of commitment in financial, sexual, and emotional infidelity, where do you guys think that there is a breakdown in the commitment? Because before you are emotional or sexual, financial, or emotionally having infidelity in your relationship, there has to be a breakdown. A lot of people do say that it's communication. Do you truly think that it's communication, especially hearing the reason why people get divorced as far as the lack of commitment?
This question is for me, right?
Yeah, you can answer it. Can I?
Let me put it this way, right? The reason why lack of commitment becomes a problem in marriage is because you have to understand that this newer generation is the most attention-seeking generation. I'm talking about people from the age of 55 and lower. Highly attention-seeking. Somebody like me, when you talk about commitment, are you talking about taking care of the household, making sure that the kids are okay, making sure that the bills are paid, running the household item, or giving me attention, or acknowledging that I'm there, being romantic? I don't care about acknowledging that I'm there and being romantic. I don't really care about that much, because you know what? The world has to be run. I have to go make money. I have to take care of my family. I have a lot of things to do. So commitment in terms of emotional commitment, I really don't care about that much, because you know what? I think that it's people that are spoiled brats that usually go for the emotional commitment. So when I hear people talk about commitment, that commitment is the reason why they are divorced. It's a middle class. I would say this is a middle class fantasy. It's a middle class fantasy, and also is a kind of is destructive, because most of the people that divorce in the United States and around the world are middle class. Poor people don't really divorce. Rich people don't really divorce. The divorce is in the middle class, and it's because the middle class demands so much of themselves. They don't really have ambition to be great. They don't want to be poor either. So because of that, the pressure that they put on themselves is just undue pressure. I have a lot to think. I'm thinking about how to make money. I'm thinking about the next business venture. I'm thinking about real estate. I'm thinking about the next project that I'm going to do. I'm thinking about the next startup that I'm going to, commit myself into. But do I get it from women? Do I see that around women? That's from women around me? Do I see that from my own personal life? Yes. There is too much emphasis in commitment, emotional commitment. We didn't come to this world to always have fun. There are other things to do. But our commitment is to the kids first. If I come to I'm not going to compete about, like I said on I think I said it on one of the panel last week. I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to compete with my kids over my wife. You see what I'm saying? To get her attention. I don't want my wife to leave my kids and come and pay attention to me and make sure I'm okay. No, take care of the kids. I'm okay. I can take care of myself. But I don't even want her either to always bugging me. You're not doing this in this house. It's like I felt neglected. Come on, you're a grown-ass woman. But I'm not going to say that in her face, because her blood is going to run high. But in my heart, she's a grown-ass woman. You know what I mean? So I don't know why. In fact, I will put it this way. Let me land. Most of us never grew up. We still, we're in our 40s and 50s and 60s, but we still act like little kids in our teens. We never passed high school. And it's very sad. In fact, we never got into high school, because high school, you fetch for yourself in high school. Most of us are still in elementary in terms of the way we think.
So we can hold on. You say you're gonna talk all this tough talk on here, but you scared to tell your goddamn old lady? Is that what we're doing? I tell my old lady all the time. I tell my lady, like, whenever she seek, I'll explain it. Whenever she seek attention to me, I have a way of telling her that she's a grown-ass woman. I'm not gonna be like, you're a freaking ass grown-ass woman. No, I got to tell her she's a grown woman. You can't always expect me to give you an attention all the time. No, I have things to do. I have family to take care of.
I have a question, Ikene. So how do you guys prioritize your emotional needs for each other?
I will say this to myself, right? Like I said, I don't really care that much about emotional need. As long as I'm fed, as long as we go towards reproduction, we have sexual intercourse, and if I come home, I relax. I pay attention. I ask my wife, how is your day? She tells me. Guess what? Once we have few conversation, I am doing something. I'm taking care of business. You see what I'm saying? If she want to talk, I'm always open to talk. When we lay on the bed, then we have a longer conversation. That's when we talk until we fall asleep. You see what I'm saying? But Me, I personally, I don't really care about emotional commitment. I'm not wired like that. I'm a businessman from Eastern Nigeria. We think different from most people. That's how we structure. Now I will tell you, the Eastern Nigerian men are just different from the rest of the black folks on earth. That's just how we structure.
So expect for her to be winding down by Ronnie Romance while you out there giving her lack of emotion.
And guess what? I appreciate. I understand you said that. My wife don't have that kind of. I'm glad for the kind of woman I married. That's number one. Because I had to choose her. I had to vet. That's why I tell people all the time: mind who you marry, vet who you marry. Because if you know what I went through before I choose my wife and married her, my wife don't really care much about those things. She's mostly a homebody. She never leaves the house like that. My wife has not been to club in over 5 years. She's not interested. When I will be the one to tell her, hey, let's go to the club. She'll be like, okay, let's go.
Okay, Kenny, if I'm saying your name correctly.
Yeah, you got it right.
When I am listening to you, I listen to your hierarchy of things that you require. Women are emotional creatures. They are not devoid of that. No matter how you think.
100%.
Okay, so that wine and dine, or you jump on her, you grunt for at least 5 to 10 minutes, and then jump off and then talk about the current affairs.
I don't grow for 5 to 10 minutes. I go for hours.
I'm just giving. I'm not saying wait. I know you. You got
your money long.
You got that Jollof rice in you, strong back. Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm listening to your priority. Everybody has to have a balance within their life. And when you commit to a woman, which is a great commitment, there also has to be that balance. I understand things ain't given to you easy within this world, but your priorities, I can't tell you what your priorities are, but how you listed them, I saw you put her like 3 or 4 down, and you put business first. And I don't want to get you confused, but I don't see how that's you also excluded happiness.
Let me put it this way for you, my brother. Kenny, I don't put business before my family. Neither do I put my family before business. You need both of them. Because if I put business before my family, I'm going to lose my family. If I put my family before business and that business goes down, my family is going to suffer. You see what I'm saying?
Agreed.
So I'm not going to put my wife at the 4th position. Hell to the no. My wife is my biggest priority. It's just like if my wife is happy, right? We are at peace. The whole house is at peace because I don't want my children in danger. Because my wife has to be sane for we to have because if she makes a mistake, it's devastating to the rest of the family. But what I'm saying is that I acknowledge my wife's emotions. But I don't care about my wife showing me emotional commitment. That's what I said earlier. I think you guys may have been lost in what I said. I don't really care about her giving me emotional commitment, but I will give her emotional commitment because she's a woman. She wants that emotional commitment, right? But for me to seek it from my wife, man, I have thousands of things going through my head. I'm not going to seek that. Just like I'm not going to compete with my kids over my wife's attention. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, I get that part, but the emotion, that's supposed to be a balanced ship. She's supposed to be the yin to your yang. Like when you tell me you have like the world on your shoulders and you're mid rough seas, that she's supposed to be that calming things that brings you home and softens your day. And that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that, okay, now your story kind of changed when we got more hands-on with it. But as for you saying that you can give her the emotion, but emotion over kids, it's like you're doing a juggling act, but You're not saying that she's the yin to your yang. That's what, in my opinion, what I'm hearing from you. And I could be wrong, so I'm open for correction.
Yeah, my wife is always going to be the yang to my yang. That is 100% correct. I think you're still missing it. From me to her is 100%. I'm always going to give her that. But from her to me, I don't expect my wife to give me. I don't seek attention from my wife. You see what I'm saying? I don't seek commitment. My wife seeks commitment from me. And I make sure that I give her that commitment. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, my wife understands how much of a businessman that I am. You see? So she understands that, and she understands how much I thrive in it. So if she don't see me giving her that attention, because I am kind of, okay, let me say it this way. As a business person, the way you operate is different compared to somebody that goes to that is into 9-to-5 job. A business person, your head is 100% working at all times. You never really sleep because guess what? Your phone is ringing. You're getting calls both in the United States and international. So sometimes there are deals that you make that kind of flops. You lose a deal and it you see, your life is messed up because you know how much you've lost. You see what I'm saying? So my wife at that moment understand that, oh, we're not going to talk to him because he's in a different mood. I get agitated, I get pissed off, but I'm not mad at my wife. I'm just mad at something that happened, right? That have caused such financial damage. But sometimes when she talk to me, I might react back to her. And then she will get mad. Why are you? But she knows why I did it. But she's trying to just get me in line. Then I catch myself because this is the life of a businessman. There's a reason why only 6% of the whole world population have successful business.
Okay. To answer, you said is commitment. They said commitment. Well, communication is what you need to be committed to as well. Often we aren't committed to communicating, and that communication breakdown leads to that commitment, and so on and so forth. The one thing the communication that I heard this evening, for example, was very clear that we have different values. And really, what you value is what you'll fight for. Whatever you value will appreciate, and whatever you don't value will depreciate. And so, if you value finances, the loss of it will depreciate your morale, your mentality, and how you feel. If you value integrity or things of that nature first above that, then the lack of commitment to that integrity or the loss of that integrity, you will start decreasing your mental and your spirit. So what that communication and learning what the person values is probably the key thing, the key commitment we should probably start with is committing to communicate and communicate whatever it is you feel. And I don't knock anybody for what they value. Just as long as you clear on it, try to find somebody who can match that, who can give you what you want. I always say this saying, and I think everybody should be able to say it. You won't ever find a better man than me. You might find one equivalent. You might find one more suitable to giving you what you need, but you ain't ever gonna find a better man. And I feel the same. The woman should be able to say that to me, because really, equivalent is the best. You can find the best. That's why I say you could be in love with somebody else, no problem. He's a great guy, no problem. But the point is, I'm giving you what you need, in addition to just being equivalent to his greatness. And so that's why we're married and you two aren't. But the point is that if you communicate what you value and you find somebody who values the same thing, you have a better chance of having a great relationship.
Are you saying who is married and who is not married?
No. You just
okay, saying something. Okay, I got you. Okay. Okay.
Listen, the one thing about emotions, most men don't require their wives to give them the emotions that you give in return. I mean, I'm not wired that way either, right? You know, when I need my wife, I let her know. But you know, this whole emotional kind of thing, very, very smart. You know, I take it. I mean, I know she needs a. My wife is not really an attention seeker, but I know the emotion doesn't have to be equivalent both ways. It just doesn't. You know, she doesn't need that much from me, and I don't need that. Well, she gets what I give her because I always kind of dote on my wife a little bit, but I don't need a lot of emotional stuff for her. She just caters to me, and that's enough. You know, and I and in return, I give her whatever she needs. You know, whatever at the time she needs, I give it to her. You know, it's funny. I asked my wife a couple of times when we talk and something. I said, "How many times have I ever told you no? Can you, if in our whole marriage, can you put up more than five times where I ever told you no when you actually wanted something?" And she's very hard pressed to do it.
And it's
Very
probably
hard.
equivalent to how many times you probably had to ask her for something for you. It's probably something that she just
That's right.
does. Like you
Something
just
like
have
that.
that relationship where I got you, you got me.
Exactly.
So
We anticipate what each other needs.
right. I always say I worked in one restaurant, Carrabba's, and there was a rule that you had to fill the guest glass up when it got halfway full. So if you're drinking a Coke and you got halfway there, I'm supposed to automatically just bring you a refill without you even having to ask me. So, you know, those are things that I don't think women are taught young. Because when you hear someone like Ikene speak or someone like Arpane speak, you can tell that there is a certain rhythm, cadence, and understanding that you guys have in your relationships because you've already set a good foundation. You know each other, you know each other's expectations. It may sound harsh with Ikene saying, well, you know, I'm not that emotional person. You know what I mean? I don't need that emotional attention. But I think if you ask most guys, they'll say that. Like I know my dad's like that. You know what I mean? My mom, she caters, she gives him what he needs. He don't really have to ask her for anything, but she don't really have to ask him for anything either. You know, he provides what she needs. So I think that that's part of that yin and yang. You have to know who you're with and know and have that trust in them too. Because I'm sure Ikene's wife trusts that he gonna handle business because that's who he is as a man. So you don't have to, you know, waver or doubt that. All right, did everyone speak on
I
this
just want to
about
add one more thing before
Mhm.
we move off of this particular topic. You know, and I say this, and I think a lot of guys' eyes roll up in their heads. I think we all have a certain amount of emotional currency, both men and women. And I think that when you're married to a woman, you got to recognize that you need to fill up her cup on a regular basis. Because as a man, we definitely will drain that shit. You know, so you have to just know that you got to keep her emotional bank account kind of full with the kind of things you do, and you don't have to go out of your way. But you know, the point is that you need to know that one exists, that you could drain your lady, you know, if you don't fulfill some certain needs. And that's one of the things. I don't know where I got it from. I just recognize that, right? And that's why I don't have any issues. One of the reasons why I don't have any issues, you know. So
Okay. Hank, did you go on this one? I know you've been going in and out having technical difficulties.
Hink's had a tough time with these questions, so he had to go.
But it's about lack of commitment being the most common reason for divorce. And we always talk about, you know, communication being very important. But do you think that it's communication or are people just not dedicated to making their union work? They're not in it for the long haul.
Yeah, I don't think they're dedicated. I don't think they're ready to put on that hard head and that lunch pail and ready to go to work every day. I mean, that's what it takes, man. Every day's not gonna be good. It's not. So there's gonna be some days. There's gonna be some bad days, some down days, some questionable days. You know, are you still willing to fight through it? You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have loss of family members, loss of loved ones or friends. and are you going to be able to fight through it? So at the end of the day, I just don't think a lot of people are committed to the long haul. I really don't. Soon as they hit a valley, they ready to get up through. So
the communication thing is big. That could keep you in that puppy love stage throughout the rest of your life. You can rekindle, reminisce, and get back to a place and always find out what your partner is thinking about. The things that they love, like Ekene he clarified what was meant. His wife sees him. She knows when ebb and flow like the tide, what he needs, when he needs his time, and when she can come to him and love up on him like a wife should. Communication, I feel, in my opinion, is the biggest part. And when you get detached from that, when your libido is no longer there and you can't eat enough Blue Chews like they Skittles, there has to be something else that keeps your heart warm and connected to the counterpoint that you swore to give your life for. And that goes beyond the physical. The communication is also the mental, because that person will always remember how you handle them and know how to handle them via communication. So that could always rekindle that candle that goes dim at times.
All righty. So communication is important. Will always be important. But did everyone go on the last topic? We talked about which type of cheating is worse. We had a couple people say financial, some say emotional, some say sexual. We went over pretty much, the leading
Precious,
cause of infidelity.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Mhm.
I said circle back to me because I was torn between the two, emotional and sexual. And after further review, it's definitely sexual.
Okay, thank you for throwing that in there. So we got Sean's vote. Sexual. He ain't having it. But I wanted to talk about these topics tonight with the men's panel. I always try to find topics that you guys can inform and help us understand as ladies, as women, even as the younger crowd that comes through, help them kind of navigate through and little things that they can do. So I appreciate you guys for throwing those tidbits out there. I appreciate the Cash Apps. Thank you, Frenchie K. I did get your Cash App, so I appreciate that. Going to go through some of these comments and then we're going to get out of here. Gas Mask, thank you so much for being here. It says, I'm just going off the title alone. I'd say the bigger one would be emotional because it's essentially the root of all the evil done physically. Black Lexicon says, cheating is a marriage thing. The Wife School Podcast, thank you so much for being here, love, says cheating is a behavior and not only in a marriage. Okay. Gas Mask also says, me personally, I see no justification for adult relationships to have cheaters in it. Either talk it out or drop the person like a bad habit. Life's too short to tolerate BS. Let's see. We also have, I don't want to say this name wrong. I really don't. Nanashi. Given he is Igbo, there's also something to be said about the extended family network that can help change the dynamic of those non-physical needs being met. It carries benefits and consequences. So what I think is being said here is because the family, Ikene talked about, not having competition between his wife and his children. And I think what this comment is saying is pretty much saying that, having that responsibility, having those kids helps change the dynamic of those non-physical needs being met. And it also carry benefits and consequences. So I think, there's attention that you give your children, there's attention that you give your man. And while you're giving your attention to the man, while you're giving your attention to the children, the man is probably off working, doing what he needs to do, clearing his head, going through his mental Rolodex of thoughts and things like that. So it does help balance the dynamic, but you still should not abandon your responsibilities, as wife and husband, of course. She also says fear, or he also says, I'm not sure if it's a man or woman, says fear is also the issue.
It's
And
a
the
man.
weight, a man, okay. The Wife School podcast says Hank's Wi-Fi is cheating on him. Kept leaving you coming in and out, but you are here, so we appreciate you. Central Hitter says you can communicate, but where do the understanding come in? And I think that's an important comment, because you can talk and talk and talk all you want, but if someone is not comprehending you, if someone is not understanding you, then communication is kind of not null and void, but something you're probably going to have to do more than once. Effective communication, one of the most crucial aspects that can solve a lot of issues or just help to avoid them entirely. Thank you, the Wife School podcast. I really appreciate you for being here. All right. And I'm going to get to this last one. Gasman says, which then comes about a sort of Stockholm syndrome, more or less. I agree. Yep. Fear is the category of human condition level of problems at Gasmask. So yes, fear definitely does hold us and stop us from doing things, but fear is only false evidence appearing real. So we just need to step on the other side of fear and do what we need to do. All right, guys. So we're going to get into these last thoughts, and then we're going to wrap it up. And y'all going to be right back on Wednesday. Not the men's panel, but watching the channel. Me and Lady Di are going to be going live at 7-ish. So come back on Wednesday for our panel. But you guys, final thoughts. We're going to start with Hank, and we'll go over, up, and then stop with Kenny. Okay? Final thoughts.
So I guess my final thoughts is black man, protect yourself at all times. Do what you need to do, get your mental right, or get on somebody's couch or somebody's Zoom meeting. Get your mind right. Diabetes and heart disease, two amongst biggest killer amongst black men. So make sure your A1C's in order. Make sure you get a full physical. Take care of yourself. And a man of a certain age, like R. Payne's old ass, need to go get a prostate check and a colonoscopy to make sure everything's everything in the back door. Right on.
Thank you. All right, we're going to go over to Sean. Sean, your final thoughts, sir?
My final thoughts. Very interesting conversations that we had today. I'm glad ain't nobody get too personal. And I would say, if you're dealing with a person, trust is really the bottom line to all the successful things, and how you get to that trust. There are several ways, communication being one. Understanding is part of that communication, and I think that it's missing. And most importantly, though, is that to understand, to communicate, it takes work and effort on both parts. And if you're not matching the effort of your partner, or your partner's not matching your effort, you're doomed to have a bad relationship. And that's not just romantic relationship, that's in any relationship. So I would say put in the energy, because we will put in energy in things that we value. If you value your job, you're going to put in that work to keep that job. So I just ask us all to try and value our relationships a little better, so that we can match and put in the energy necessary to sustain them.
Thank you so much, Sean. I really appreciate you for being here. Thank you. All right, Ikene, what are your final thoughts? I know you came on a little later, but what final thoughts do you have for us, sir?
Yeah, one thing that I gotta say, and I keep saying it, is that you gotta vet who you're trying to deal with. If you want to get married to a woman, vet her, know her family, know what kind of family she comes from, because those things actually play a huge role in sustaining your marriage. And another thing again is this: don't think short term. think midterm and long term when it comes to marriage, because the reason why the midterm and the long term will enable you to know the kind of woman you want and who to pick. Don't pick a woman because of your lifestyle. Like I have people say all the time, I want a woman, I want a man that matches my lifestyle, or I want a woman that matches my lifestyle. Don't do that, because those things are temporary, they're gonna fade. There'll come a time you don't want to live that lifestyle anymore. That means you got to get rid of the woman too, or you got to get rid of the man, because your lifestyle is changing. You marry them for that temporary. That's why we have a lot of temporary relationship, because most people marry for temporary reason. But if you really want to get married, marry for midterm and long term, but always have that long term in mind. Where do you want this relationship to be 20 years from now? First, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 70 years from now, till God, bring death to do you part. Those are the things you think, and it enables you to make the right decision. And make that right decision, because if you marry a woman for a long time, you will marry the woman that will actually be that woman that will understand you both in and out. It's very, very necessary, because I got to tell you, the greatest damage that you can do to yourself is marrying the wrong woman. If you marry the wrong woman, you're done.
Thank you for those closing words. That's facts. All right, Arpane, how about for you, your closing words this evening, sir?
Yeah, he Ekene took my last thoughts about, guys and who are in this dating market now. If you really want to be married, if you really, really want to be married, you got to stop looking at women as pork chops, right? And the reason why I mean that is that you got to look at them more than just sexual beings. If they're pleasing to you, great, but you got to learn the essence of who you're talking to. So, so for me, what worked for me is that after a while, you might have to decide that you want to take a little fast from smashing just random chicks, even if you're horny. Try to get that shit out your system a little bit, because you want to be able to recognize the right woman when you see her. And I think if your head is all cloudy because all women look the same to you or somebody to smash, you can miss it. And that's what happened to me. I went on a little, I had some prospects I just never fulfilled with because there was no future. And I'll just end it on this thing. When my wife went out for the first time, I met her parents. And when we sat down at the dinner table, I said, listen, I don't need another girl. If we're going to stay together, we got to think about something bigger than that. And she was down, and we went immediately to courting. We didn't date. We went right immediately to courting, and then we got engaged five months later. So I'm not saying it'll work like that for everybody else. All I'm just saying is, if you don't clear your head and every woman looks like a piece of meat to you, you're going to miss it. That's what I think as a man.
All right, y'all hear Arpane. He said fast from that ass. Okay, fast from that ass.
Wow.
All right. So Kenny, your final thoughts this evening, sir. What do you have for us?
I think we had a great panel, another great discussion being had by interesting minds with different perspectives. We still all came together like we usually do as for this topic. I think and hope that it's still out there for someone to find someone that they can cleave to and live a life with and love and learn how to love and get away from all the superficial things that got this game convoluted with people talking on all these panels, red pill, blue pill, a metaphor for everything rather than the simple thing of getting from in front of your smartphone or your computer and just meeting up with somebody and saying, hello, I like you, and explore that journey and see where it goes. It just makes me think about the song made by Music Soul Child, Don't Change. If you could find something like that in your life, you'll be a blessed man till your days are over. And everyone there listening in, reevaluate the relationship that you do have. Hold yourself accountable to the things that we spoke to, mostly communication, in my opinion. Rekindle something. Take your girl out for ice cream and a walk, something that don't cost too much but still hit very profoundly to her heart. I think we got away from that, and these discussions make us rethink the way that we look at lives and the one that we love up on. Thank you for allowing me to say my piece, Precious. I land my plane now.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Just highlighting a couple of things I saw in the chat. Congo English, thank you. I got your Cash App as well. I appreciate you. Says, great read if you're dealing with fear as a man. David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me and Never Finished. Y'all know I'm a huge advocate for books, reading, literature. So definitely go and get that. I might buy it and I might do a giveaway because I like doing stuff like that. But I always, whenever someone suggests any type of literature or reading or anything like that, you know, definitely want to at least check it out, read some Cliff Notes, something. Just something else to put in your tool belt, right? It's something you don't know about, and it's something you can check out just in case you have any issues dealing with fear. So thank you so much for suggesting that. Miss Sheila's World of Fun and Inspiration. I like that. Great panel and discussion tonight. Thank you so much. Lapeef Network, thank you so much for being here. Great show, Precious. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Leah Devotion says, people die from a broken heart. It's a real thing. Stop playing with people. Y'all better stop playing with people out here. Stop playing with people. Inspiration breeds success. Blaze says, Tarika Smith, that's why it's best to listen to understand and not to respond. I had to learn that lesson the hard way, unfortunately. Much appreciated. Thank you. You're much appreciated. I appreciate those who share education with others because you don't have to, but you chose to. And because of that, someone may go get that book and just be, you know, a little bit more wiser from it. So thank you. The Wife School Podcast, I got your Cash App. Thank you so much, love. I appreciate you. Darnell, I appreciate you as well. Thank you guys so much for your contributions tonight. I appreciate you. This was a great Monday night, great topics. Definitely be sure to join Lady Di and myself. We stream off of her channel, but I stream it through my channel as well. So this Wednesday, we're going live, and the topic is about men tonight. Our last Wednesday show went really well. Had a lot of good interaction in the comments, and a man asked a question in which we wrote that question down to use as a topic, and so we're going to be using that this Wednesday, and we're talking about, you know, men being leaders, because it just seems like the roles have been reversed in some cases, and we also want to say things to the men that they need to hear and love. You know, me and Lady Di are huge advocates of Black men in general. We have you guys' best interest at heart, but sometimes there are some things that need to be said in love, and so we're holding that space, that time for that discussion. So definitely join us on Wednesday at 7-ish. Okay. On Wednesday between 7 and 7:15, we try to come on and start the show. But again, I appreciate you guys. My last words, of course, you guys already know, I always say keep it real with yourself so you can keep it real with others. As far as cheating is cheating. None is better than the other. There are some that may be worse than the other, but I don't think there are any that are better than the other. And as far as cheating, little things can be perceived as cheating. We talked about the first video of the cell phone being face down instead of face up. You know, I would say my final words would be for the women in regards to just that video. I want to speak on everything, but a lot of times we have to keep our eyes on the prize. I'll say that. We have to keep our eyes on the prize, meaning don't be worried about his phone. Don't be worried about, you know, things that you have no control over. Don't worry about things that you can't control because they're not meant for you to control. Just keep your eyes on the prize. Be focused on him. He'll be focused on you. Show love, and reciprocity should show its way back to you. And if it don't, go somewhere where you're appreciated, right? But we have to be able to stay focused. And I think that a lot of women don't stay focused on what they're there for, and a lot of other things will pull at your heartstrings and at your mind and play tricks on you. Then you start believing stories that aren't even true, that you're just making up in your head as you go along, as the date go along. And I say, get it out your mind, because it's jealousy. It may not be jealousy, but it just may be your thoughts, okay? They might be working against you, okay? So mind the business that pays you. Stop worrying about everything else and concentrate on what you are there for. And I would say the same thing to the men, but I think men understand this a little bit more than women. And so those would be my final thoughts. So again, guys, be real with yourself so you can be real with others. Catch us on Wednesday, 7-ish. I hope to see you guys there. If not, I'll see you guys next Monday, okay? Happy Monday and happy Tuesday. You guys have a great evening. Bye-bye.